Wait a minute, hold on, I'm sensing something. I'm sensing that our next guest will be highly entertaining. But I wouldn't know for sure, I'm no psychic. Thankfully, he is. Mark Anthony is a psychic lawyer of all things, and the author of that book right there. It's called Never Letting Go, and he's here to tell us a little bit more about his abilities. I must say, sir, this is a first, a psychic lawyer on Great Day St. Louis.
Well, I'm a psychic medium, and
Yes.
I'm an attorney, and I practice criminal defense and personal injury. So I guess that means I chase stolen ambulances driven by drunk drivers who want to see dead people.
Wow, I need a flow chart, some kind of image.
But seriously,
Yeah.
I was born a psychic medium, and I am a practicing attorney, and I've combined both of my professions.
Now, let's start at the beginning. Your parents were both psychics or had psychic abilities as well, right?
Correct. This is a hereditary ability. It runs in my family for generations, and both mom and dad were mediums.
So at what point do you realize you're different than the other kids, and how does that power first manifest itself with you?
When I was about 4 years old, I started having invisible friends.
Aha. Which
And
for a 4-year-old is not
Not
all
an-
that out of the ordinary.
Well, the theory is that a lot of children do see spirits, but as we get older, we're socialized and we're taught to suppress that ability and to disregard it. The nice thing about having psychic parents is they saw them too,
Sure.
and they didn't treat me like I was odd or different. They just said, Mark, you can talk about it to us, but let's keep it in the house.
Gotcha, because they had grown up with this ability too. I assume.
Absolutely.
You
yes.
called yourself a psychic medium. Do the two always go hand in hand? Is there a difference?
Every medium is also a psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. In a nutshell, if you want to know about your love life and your career and your future, see a psychic. If you want to talk to dead people, see a medium.
Ah, and you've got skills in both, as it were.
In both, but my specialization is spirit communication, where what I do, it's all based on frequency. It's not hocus pocus or magic. This is based on our physiology and opening up to frequency. And actually, there's quantum physics and a lot of studies being conducted worldwide to substantiate and document this as a reality.
Now, as a lawyer, how much of your special abilities can you bring into a courtroom? Because I'm sure you get a lot of reaction, and reaction in public for that matter, of people who say, okay, yeah, right. So where is that line between practicing law and being a medium and a psychic?
Well, it's part of me. It's part of my skill set. It's like saying, well, Michael Phelps, you have big feet. How do you reconcile that with swimming? and which he does very well.
Yes, indeed.
I find it very useful, particularly in jury selection. And in this one particular case, it was a murder. I was zeroing in on a prospective juror, and I felt a tightening around my throat, and I felt a female spirit with her. And so I asked her, have you or has anyone in your family been the victim of a violent crime? And the tears started coming, and she said, a year ago, my sister was murdered.
Wow.
And my clients looked at me like, dude, what are you doing?
Where did that come
And
from?
literally, I was between two worlds, and everybody is looking at me like, Mark, do something. And if you want to find out what happens, you're going to have to read Never Letting Go.
Oh, that's what we call a tease in the business. Hey, we've got you here on President's Day.
Yes.
There is a lot of rumor and speculation surrounding the White House, surrounding presidents of the past who have used psychics, who have had mediums.
Yes.
And you told me a great story earlier this morning about, well, you just tell us about this visit years ago to the White House.
Since Abraham Lincoln's assassination, and Lincoln, it is believed, was a psychic himself because he kept having a reoccurring dream of seeing himself in a coffin in the East Room of the White House. And we know this to be true because he told his press secretary, John Hay, who recorded it in his memoirs. And on April 13th, 1865, Lincoln had that dream again. The next night, he was assassinated at Ford's Theater. But that doesn't end the involvement with Abraham Lincoln of the White House. His spirit has been seen by the likes of Teddy Roosevelt, a no-nonsense president, First Lady Grace Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Lyndon Baines Johnson. And it's really sad for Lyndon Baines Johnson because he was overheard actually talking to Lincoln's spirit. Comedian Bob Hope got hold of that and made a whole routine. But for me, my favorite story is when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Britain had been in the war against Nazi Germany for 2 years, and Churchill knew he had to have a good relationship with Franklin Roosevelt.
So he comes to D.C.
He comes to D.C.
Stays in the Lincoln bedroom.
Yes, which is the epicenter of spectral phenomenon in the White House. Now, Churchill was a quirky guy, and he insisted on a bath every afternoon.
Yep.
So he gets out of the bathtub, walks into the Lincoln bedroom, stark naked, cigar hanging out of his mouth, because he used to like to write, and he was working on a speech for Congress the next day, and there's Lincoln's spirit. Churchill, being Churchill, takes a puff of his cigar and says, "Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm sorry, but you seem to have me at a disadvantage." And Lincoln's spirit fades from view. Churchill promptly gets dressed, goes downstairs, and tells the Roosevelts, "I will not spend another second in that accursed bedroom."
No more of the Lincoln bedroom for Winston Churchill. Mark, thank you so much.
It's been an honor. Thank
pleasure.
you.
We've added a link to Mark's website onto ours, by the way, greatdaystlouis.com. Virginia?
Wait, I'm stuck on something that he said at the very beginning.
Yes.
Does that mean that Laura, Lucas, Brian, and Kiki and Jamie, my imaginary friends from when I was 4, they were real at some point?
Think about it. Maybe. Think about it.
Whoa. Okay.